today we have planned are the subframes that are going to be moved from one car to the next. Literally the entire front suspension and subframes are going to be unbolted and swapped between the two cars. So hopefully we can knock that out pretty quick today. I have never done this personally, so I don't know how much is involved, but it sounds pretty easy. I mean, the subframes and stuff connected to it should all come out as one big old piece. You should be able to roll it over to the other car and it'll just bolt right up. What's up, Justin? What's going on today? Got the garage cleaned up a little bit, I see. Got some shit out of the way.
Everything out.
Yeah, we got a little yard sale deal going on in here.
Yeah. Supporting this project.
What car's first now?
I don't know.
Or what's the plan today? What's the plan?
Well, we need to swap subframes, which means everything underneath has to come out. This car still has a transmission though, so I'm trying to decide when I want to do that.
That does need to come out before the subframes come out, right?
Kinda. Right now it's sitting on the front subframe.
Yeah.
So if we take the front subframe out, the front of it drops. But we could support it with something, or we can just pull it. Both cars still have drive shafts and diffs. Those gotta come out before the subframes come out. I'm trying to decide. But it's hot.
It is a little bit warmer today. Maybe we actually get some sunshine in the morning,
Yeah.
where it's been like cloudy and misty and wet the last week or so.
Weather.
I know. You get a lot of shit done when it's cold.
But that's
Or
about
colder.
Yeah.
So.
Swap subframes. That's all that's on the list. If we get more done, maybe.
So before we get started, I figured we'd go ahead and make another list. Just because there's a lot of shit we want to get done today, but we don't know what order we want to get it done in. Priorities, what comes first.
I mean, the fronts are going to be easier because they hang out in the garage, so we have more room. But just decided if we want to pull the trans, we might as well. So, but we gotta pull all the stuff for the trans, but that shouldn't take too long.
So I'm not gonna lie, it was day 3, but in total we probably already put like 10 hours into this car, or into this project, and the fatigue was starting to kick in.
Really? Sorry.
No, you. 5 minutes into or 3 minutes into the video, you said, "Oh, I'm already dead tired."
Well, no, it's because I dropped the exhaust on my balls. That's why I was over the car. 5 minutes in, I'm undoing the exhaust, and I was holding it with my knees, and then I moved my knees and dropped it on my balls. That's why I was done.
That's why it was.
But yeah, it is a lot of work. So.
Was it?
Yeah. I was straddling it, and then it dropped onto my Ravos. I'm done. I'm done. Quit.
Go home.
No more swap. Can you slide me my tool?
Yeah. There you go.
I was like, well, I don't want to run full straight pipes. And 2 resonators isn't going to hurt anything. It's just going to make it sound better.
Yes.
So. And it had the bends to clear the diff, so. Remember, Healy, everything just looks shitty. It's part of the ploy.
I won't say anything about the welds, but hey.
Hey, I'm learning.
It lasted, right? There's
Yeah.
holes in it.
It's more than your 3 seconds of weld.
Yeah.
I taught myself with YouTube and practice-ish.
And I won't even try.
Can you,
What's up?
I don't know what I need to do. Oh, it's a neutral, and can you put the e-brake down? I'll tell you when to put it back down.
Okay.
Sorry. I know, it's only been 15 minutes already, like, out of it.
Yeah. Alright, so we gotta remove the shift linkage to get the transmission out. When we pulled this car, we didn't pull the trans, so that needs to come out next. And then we released the mounts where the control arms are at. And I think we're going to take the wheels off. We got to pop the axles out. And then we should be able to get the trans out. And then after that, the subframe. Now, we're going to take the wheels off, even though you could probably roll it with the wheels. But when the control arms subframes are like loose and they're not mounted, there's a good chance they'll whack into the wheels or like hit the inside of the barrels. So we're going to take the wheels off and then lower the subframe onto a dolly and then roll it over to the other car. But we haven't started on the other car yet, so we're going to get this first one out, let it sit for a second, and then get the other car out ready for this subframe, and we should be good to go.
Yeah, go down a little.
Alright, so steering linkage out, control arms, subframe bolts are now out, so we just gotta drop this bitch?
Yeah.
Okay, so I just lower the jack then?
Yeah.
Alright. Things are going a little bit slower than what we had expected. Still got this subframe in, which has a couple more bolts we need to remove in order to get it dropped out. This one's already good. You saw that earlier. Got the trans still sitting on the ground, we gotta move that. And there's the actual front subframe with all the suspension and control arms and brakes and all that good stuff. So, I'm gonna get to work and try to get the subframe removed, and then we can slide the other one, or slide this one out and slide the other one in, bolt it up, and bolt this one to that car so we can get this car rolling and out of the garage, and we can start throwing shit, you know, the parts we're not going to use in the car itself. Subframe spacers. If you want to lower an Outback or a Forester or whatever properly and get the right suspension geometry, you need to remove these blocks. Of course, you're going to need like WRX hardware and whatnot to get it to get everything to match up right, but these blocks are what lifts the car. So the idea is we're going to go ahead and bolt in the coilovers on the top hats or wherever they're, you know, where they're supposed to go. Then the subframe will be free hanging, and we'll be able to get the subframe bolted up by just jacking up the center. Okay, slow down. I got to rotate this top hat. No, you're good. Okay. Yeah. Alright, one in. One around. Yeah. Go up. Cool.
Oh man.
Here, I want to spray it down.
Okay.
Well, the jack is maxed out.
That's good. No, you got plenty of threads on.
That's my first jacker.
Oh no, this is my second one. First one was that Craftsman one that everyone has.
Here you go. Put that side down too.
What are you gonna use on those? Your Ratchet?
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably go easy. I won't torque because I know they like to snap.
Yeah.
How that far? Already there? Down a little.
Okay, go ahead.
That's how you do it, kids.
Secrets.
Yes.
I've never tried to bolt the subframe in first, but it doesn't sound fun.
Oh yeah, I mean, to like balance it out and try to figure it out. Especially when there's shit attached to it. So one of the custom parts you need to have made when you do this kind of swap is shortening your steering U-joint. Because we took out the 1-inch spacers, now this U-joint is too long to fit between the steering rack and, you know, down there. So you gotta get somebody to cut it and weld it. That's what they did with this one. I'm gonna go ahead and put it back in.
Okay, so another reason you have to have the steering linkage custom is that the WRX splines are finer than the outback splines. So you have to have someone cut and weld basically 2 halves of each steering linkage together, and then you do have to shorten it if you're getting rid of the outback spacers. So that's like really the only custom thing you need other than the wiring harness and other knickknacks, but it's one of the few things that doesn't just bolt in from either car.
So we got like 3 subframe bolts in. Steering U-joint is just like barely held on by a couple threads, just so you can steer it. Brake lines are tightened by hand,
So they don't leak.
yeah, so they don't leak on the driveway. Not so much that we care about brakes,
Oh, you know what?
but
This is not going to have an e-brake. Or
so
I think that's it.
you just got a hole in the driver's seat so you can front stone it.
A lot of people have issues popping these axles out, and they pull the joint out and stuff like that. So I'm gonna show you how I do it because I've never had any issues with this. 2 pry bars,
Very clean.
and done.
We're working on the very last part of getting the Z-brake out, so we can drop this rear subframe. I think Justin's like sticking his finger through the holes. Okay, there we go. So that's how you get your e-brake cables out. You got to disconnect it from the actual handbrake itself. It holds onto these two things. Once you release all the brackets, you can pull this whole stuff out. I got 1 trailing arm down. I got 1 more to go. And then all I got to do from there is remove the subframe bolts, and we'll be done.
Okay, I'm gonna go down. Just kind of watch yourselves.
Guys, last thing we saw in the video was us pulling out the subframe, and after that there was no more footage for the rest of the night.
Yeah, so when Huey left, I had to drop 1 gas tank, drop the subframes, swap everything over, and all had to be done that night or else the cars couldn't park in the garage and I wasn't going to leave the garage open. So I had help, but it didn't really work out. It wasn't as much as I needed. So I think you came back around
9:30.
yeah, and saw that I needed help and wasn't going to get done with just Kim and I. It was just too much work. So he made a call.
So I was in my work clothes and went over there and realized that this wasn't looking promising. So went home, got back into my dirty clothes, and called in for some backup. Luckily enough, my roommate's boyfriend was around, and he's pretty good at Subarus, so I SOS'd him, like literally, like, we need help, and the 3 of us got to work.
So I made a decision not to drop the green car's gas tank because I was just going to use the sender. So we just put the other subframe back in and did what we could so we could get both cars in the garage that night. I think we finished at like 12:30. The extra help helped, and but actually we had to redo it. Was it the next day? No, it was a couple days later, but I had to put the WRX tank in no matter what, so that kind of sucked.
So you got the memo on the basketball shorts today?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, last night was a shit show. You can see today is more of a chill day. We said no car shit today, really. It's just,
I can't feel my lower back. So.
Yeah. Justin's just cleaning. Get around some of this shit. This Outback, we kind of like just a half-ass threw it together, made it roll. Like the trailing arms are not even bolted up. We just slapped the subframe back in and just got it out of the garage pretty much. This one got all the cool stuff now, so the wheels that were on the old car are back on. I mean, they're fitting it though. I don't have to roll that fender out. Some fenders.
Everyone just needs to be rolled flat.
What's cool is that like, because it's the same car, you didn't have to adjust the coilovers or anything. You just threw it back on and it looks decent. Well, you got some tons of camera. You might have to take a little bit out. That's more than you probably need. Once you roll that fender out a tad, we'll be able to get clear and not to run so much camber on that sucker. You know, stance life, sorta, kinda. And the cars are just full of car parts. You just throw them in there. The interior from this car literally needs to come out, and the interior from the other car will go back in because that interior is better than this interior. Yep, and then here's all the pile of parts. I mean, looks like you put a dent in it, and it looks a lot cleaner than it was yesterday. I mean, there's still stuff everywhere, but it's not as bad.
No, slowly. I mean, I think we're past the halfway point, so now it's to clean it and put it back together.
Yeah. I don't know how much clean will happen. You're like trying to like, you know, rush to get this shit done, but you know, we'll do our best. To like, you know, wipe it down a tad, or you throw it all back together. So what you guys have seen up until now was 4 days of working, and we thought we were about halfway done, but to find out later on that week, there was a lot more work that was involved.
We would have to tear into these even more. So we have all that footage, everything else up to, you know,
The
the
car
rest.
actually we're driving. I
Yeah.
don't know that yet, but yeah, the car actually drives. The project's done. So stay tuned for more, and you guys will see the finished product.
And somebody should buy these wheels.
Yeah, these wheels. They're for sale.
Buy them.
On Naziok, they're on Facebook. Buy these wheels.